everyone. My name is Catherine. Joining me today is Kimberly, Jiwon, and Martin. Unfortunately, Shiv is sick, so he won't be able to join us today. So today we're going to introduce you the project for the semester, Global Forestry Policy Analysis. So first of all, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about the project. So the problem we're going to analyze is because global forestry policy is a vast and often conflicting set of rules and policies that encourage or discourage certain behaviors. Even within fairly small administrative regions, the number of stakeholders, policy groups, government departments, and other bodies that suggest, lobby, and enact laws relating to forestation and land management can be many. Each jurisdiction has its own legal system and exceptions, which makes concerned efforts extremely difficult. So our goal for this semester is to develop NLP and ML-based models to automatically identify forestry relevant policies across a large number of policy documents globally. We'll be focusing on recognizing stakeholder entitles, potential incentives and disincentives to reforestation and synthesize policies at the national level. We want to create a policy and analysis framework for restoration interventions. The aim would be to use the framework to understand the broad spectrum of ministries, laws, and regulations related to restoration in selected countries. The framework would help with identification of conflicts and alignments in restoration policy. Our team will work with policy experts at Columbia University and the WRI, as well as with WRI's relevant data science associates and the AI for Good Foundation mentor to create data science pipelines for document management, model building, classification or unsupervised learning, and visualizations.
So for the UI components, we want the user to be able to easily search for certain forestry policies. This would be achieved through a search bar section where users could specify which keywords, subjects, and timeframes they're interested in. Then the search would output relevant PDFs. For better data visualization and to see trends of forestry policies in the world, we would also implement a world map layout. Users could hover their mouse over a country of interest and see a pop-up dialog box with a short summary of forestry data in that country. If they want to view further information about the country, they could click on it. The more detailed country information would include all logging policy PDFs relating to that country, as well as a timeline feature. The timeline feature would show when key forestry policies were implemented and give users a way to see how forestry policies have changed over time.
The technical components we are considering for the project can be done in 4 phases: get input, clean and pre-process data, algorithms, and finally creating the deliverables. First, we will get input by searching on the internet for national policies and law documents, as well as government databases and web scraping for keywords and subjects. Because most of the documents are not digitized, we will be using OCR, which stands for Optical Character Recognition Packages, like PyTesseract to get the text. Then we will fill in missing values and identify outliers to pre-process data before developing algorithms and models using NLP techniques.
So as can be seen on this slide, we can see our overall technical architecture of our project. So our project is composed of 4 layers: inputs, data cleaning and pre-processing, algorithms, and user interface. So ultimately, as Catherine mentioned, the goal of our project is to make this usable and useful for policymakers and for government. So what our inputs are composed of is that they use statistics, they use policy papers, and we also use media mentions via web scraping. And after we conglomerate and aggregate all of these inputs, we put them into our pipeline. So our pipeline primarily is composed of 3 phases. Number 1, it extracts the text from all of our sources. And then number 2, it uses algorithms to basically generate topic modeling. And number 3, it pipes this together into a user interface. So as mentioned before, we ultimately want our user interface to be a map where we can then pinpoint relevant policy papers in relevant regions. So overall, technically speaking, these four components are easily modularized and they can be worked on separately. And as we can see on this slide, we see our group timeline. So last week was week 1, and what our group did was that we compiled all these policy papers, we looked at data catalogs, we reviewed relevant research, and we thus gained a better understanding of what the state of forestry is in the world today. And then this week, in week 2, what we did is shown in these bullet points right here. So we did more literature review, we created the first stage of the OCR pipeline, we did some topic modeling exploration, and then next week what we want to do is that we want to create a minimal viable product such that we can get a general understanding of what our final structure might be like. So next week what we're going to do is that we're going to try to connect all of these components together. We're going to try to get some online catalogs and we're trying to get some polyglot data. We're going to try to further develop our topic modeling, and we're also going to patch all these together to create a simple pipeline. So that's our progress as of thus far, and we're more than happy to take questions. If you have any, just feel free to email us.